Now, reports of drink spiking have been on the rise, with 1 in 3 women and 1 in 5 men saying that they know someone who's been a victim of spiking. In a moment, we'll be hearing from one victim who's been through this firsthand and learning how we can protect ourselves and our loved ones from this happening. But first, we went out with Kent Police as they tackle the problem head on.
So, good evening, everyone. This is the briefing for Operation Vigilant.
To make sure pub and club goers have a fun and trouble-free night, Operation Vigilant is being rolled out by Kent Police alongside other forces.
So we're heading into Rochester. We've got a few patrols out tonight, some in uniform, some not. We're going to go and back up the ones that aren't in uniform, just if they've got any concerns for anyone. The primary focus is to safeguard people. So we're looking for people that might be in a vulnerable position, through perhaps being drunk, maybe losing their friends. And we're also looking for people that might be out and about to target people that might be, you see them as a soft target for an offence such as robbery or sexual assault or something like that.
Recently, there's been an increase in reports about drinks being spiked on nights out. Staff in the pubs and clubs are working with police to keep their punters safe.
The licensing department put together some training packages, and they went out proactively and invited all of the pubs and clubs to come to it. And it was just to remind them around, you know, things, signs to look out for if someone has been spiked, if someone is really drunk, if someone feels uncomfortable in the presence of others, and then to make us aware.
Walk down that way.
By himself?
No, that should be 2 girls. I don't know if they're with 2 girls.
We've had a licensee and a barman approach us just to explain that there was a couple of guys that were drinking in that premises who seemed a bit off, were approaching females and just seemed a bit strange. And they followed 2 females. They've given us a full description, times, and also shown us a picture of one of the males. So we will then distribute that information to other officers that are working out tonight. And if we find them, we'll catch up with them, ask them what they're doing, and deter any offences and prevent them from being committed.
Yeah, we'll be around. Anything, just give us a shout. All right, mate. Hello, you all right?
Hello.
What we want to do is create an environment where people feel safe to come out and enjoy the nighttime economy.
I'm not being nosy at all. I just want to double check you all right. Yeah?
Yeah.
Bad night?
Just avoid being
Boy problems. Well, if you need anything from us, you know where we are. There's loads of us out tonight, so just make sure you come talk to us if you need us, all right?
Thank you.
Yeah? But as long as you're all right. Yeah?
Thank you.
The force isn't just offering moral support, there's practical kit to keep night owls safe.
Hello. You all right? Nothing to worry about at all. We're just after a quick chat. We're in the area at the moment. Obviously, you know there's all this stuff going on about safeguarding women and girls, making sure you feel safe on a night out.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of things. If you're interested, I can give you them for free. As part of Operation Vigilant, we've been approaching members of the public and giving out some things that can also assist them in safeguarding themselves. So the first thing we've got is a check your drink strip, which is just a simple testing strip. You can get a bit of your drink on a straw, tap it on each side, and it will indicate if your drink has had something put into it. We've also got what's called a spiky, which is a little plastic device that you can pop in the top of a bottle. It's got a hole in the top for a straw, but again, it just means that someone can't come along and pop something in your drink. We've got personal attack alarm. Obviously, these come in the shape of a heart. And the last thing, similar to the spiky, is a nightcap, which is a scrunchie that you could wear in your hair. And it's got a cap for your drink that's concealed within the scrunchie that you place over your glass, and it's got a space for a straw as well. So again, it can just give people that extra reassurance that people can't access their drinks and put something in it without their knowledge.
Thank you.
No problems. Have a great night.
It's hoped this proactive approach will raise awareness of spiking and stop people becoming victims.
I've got friends that will regularly come out and experience the nighttime economy in Kent. And from a young female's perspective, operations like this and knowing that even if you can't see officers, we are here and we are working behind the scenes, out and about to safeguard people and protect people from harm.
Hey guys, you all right?
Good, thanks.
It puts your mind at ease. and it allows you to enjoy your night out and enjoy the nighttime economy that is here and offered.
Such important work there by the police. We've actually got some of those items they mentioned in the film. They're here in the studio. Right now, though, we're joined by campaigner Dawn Dines, who's the founder of Stamp Out Spiking, and also by Tia Lyons, who sadly experienced spiking herself firsthand. They're joining us alongside Dr. Emeka Okorocha, who works on the front line in an A&E ward himself. Good morning to you all. Emeka, we're going to come to you shortly, but Tia, I know that you wanted to be here to bravely share your story of what happened in the hope that it helps others.
Yeah, I think everyone's in the same situation. There's a lot of spiking at the moment. My story kind of started, I went out with a few friends on a Wednesday evening to have pizza and drinks. It wasn't kind of anything crazy. We decided to go to a pub afterwards. I was offered a voucher for a free drink. I obviously took it because I'm a student and everyone takes their stuff. I went to that bar, I had my free drink and we moved on. Quite quickly, kind of went from 0 to 100 after that one drink at that venue. I was nearly unconscious. I was really sweating like really badly. I was throwing up. I had dizziness. I was unsure on where I was, the date, who even I was with at that time. Luckily, my friends kind of knew that it wasn't normal for me. They put me in kind of like a recovery position on the floor, sought help from the people that were at the venue, and called 111 for me to try and find out where I should go and who I should go to see.
So scary, isn't it?
Really is.
Yeah. Really shocking. And as you say, it's just as well your friends were there to help. That was so lucky. So they put you in the recovery position, called 111. What happened next?
It was busy. It was at the time of COVID. So my sister ended up coming to pick me up and we went to the hospital together with my partner. When I was there, unfortunately, it was just that time that the NHS was stretched. So it took 3 hours to be seen. They recognised that I was spiked, but there's not many things that they could do for me at that point. I was given water, hydrated, and just told that I need to make sure, keep an eye on myself, keep on top of my hydration, and kind of just go home and rest, really.
I mean, it's such a scary thing to happen to you, but on top of everything, was there ever a moment where you thought people might not believe you?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of stigma around drinking, and especially being a woman and drinking, kind of what you were doing at that time. Were you out? Were you responsible? I know that I'm lucky just because I was with my friends and with people that I trusted, and also the venue that I was in must have had some training and recognised that what I was going through wasn't normal. I think if I was by myself, it would be a different situation, or for people I wasn't familiar with, but luckily I was with some girls and some guys that didn't kind of hold up to that stigma, and I was really well supported.
This is why we really appreciate you speaking out, because it's so important to raise awareness, isn't it, Tia? And for you, Dawn, you're extremely passionate about campaigning against spiking. You've set up your own campaign, Stamp Out Spiking. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, so I've been campaigning really for nearly the last 2 decades on drink spiking. It's a hugely underreported crime and it really needs to be educated on. We need to explain the symptoms and we need a clear call to action, especially for venues, so that they know the safeguarding of, well, not only people like Tia, the customers, but also for their staff members too.
Also being aware of the different kinds of spiking, because you've got drug spiking, which we've heard of quite a lot, but injection spiking, which is a new recent thing, but also spiking through actually putting too much alcohol in someone's drink that they're not really aware of.
That is such a good point, and that is actually the largest drink spiking incidents that are reported to us, is actually putting extra alcohol into somebody's drink without their consent or knowledge. They may have to drive, they may have to operate machinery. So I think it's the education that is really needed now, especially for venues to, like I say, to safeguard their customers.
Yeah, and alcohol, of course, is a drug. It's a type of drug that you're putting in. Now, this can also happen to men as well as women, can't it?
Yes.
So what are you doing to raise awareness all round?
Well, we're trying to reach out, really, and especially being on shows like this, so thank you so much for having us. And it's really to say that if this has happened to you, please come forward. Please contact us at Stamp Out Spiking. Tell us your story. So the more that we can understand this crime, the more that we can piece together so we can actually try to prevent it.
Yeah, it's understanding everything around it, what happens to your body if you have been spiked, as well as really thinking about, you know, things before you even go out.
Yeah, I suppose if I was going to give any sort of tips or advice to anybody, never leave your drink unattended. If you do go out and, like with Tia, you know, somebody bought her a drink and like she said now, she would never do that again. You know, if somebody offers to buy you a drink, go to the bar with them to take the drink. Always use one of the preventative measures. And also, the more that we can upskill all the staff who work in the nighttime economy, I think will be a much safer environment for us to... We don't want to stop partying. Everybody loves to go out and have a drink and enjoy themselves.
Absolutely.
And we should be able to do it safely.
Yeah, that's the key, isn't it? Now,
yeah.
as we said, we're also joined by Dr. Emeka. Now, Emeka, you're an A&E doctor. You're on the front line. Have you witnessed an increase in spiking cases?
Yeah, thanks for having me. And sorry to hear about your experience, Tia. However, unfortunately, we're seeing more increased experiences like Tia's in A&E. And we as clinicians, we know when to recognize these symptoms and signs and when they're more frequently likely to present. So this tends to be like on Friday nights and Saturday nights when people are out having a good time and they're more likely to having a drink that may be unattended or may be given to them for some reason. However, like you mentioned before, there are a number of different types of spiking. So this could be more alcohol. This could be a substance, so like an amphetamine or benzodiazepine. However, this can also be an injection, which we've seen a rise in A&E. So when people present with these signs and symptoms, we tend to look if they do have any puncture marks, which then the treatment and assessment of them can vary. So we may have to look in case of somebody who might be exposed to bloodborne needle stick disease, such as HIV or hepatitis. And often, I know a lot of people will understand the process when somebody comes in when they've been spiked, but we mainly try to stabilize the patients and then do some investigations to find out what's causing the symptoms and then rehydrate and take care of them and usually monitor them. That's why it's really important for people, if they're out and about and you experience symptoms, you think you have been spiked or somebody around you has been spiked, to make sure you get medical attention or seek attention from someone quite urgently.
So, Emeka, just on that, we heard from Tia how important it was that she had her friends around her. So what should we look out for? What could be the signs that someone may have, in fact, been spiked?
So because there's so many different types and ways of spiking, the signs and symptoms will vary depending on what you've had, the dosage, how much alcohol you've had, if you've had any other substances on the night, or your size and weight. So you could have symptoms like Tia mentioned, such as amnesia, confusion, dizziness. You could have excessive nausea and vomiting. You could even have difficulty breathing from chest pains, or you can lose function of your urinary and bowel functions as well. And this is something that we see increasingly with some of the drugs that people are being spiked with at the moment. So depending on your symptoms, there are different actions you can take. So if you yourself can find a way to safely with somebody get 111 or get to an A&E, then you should. However, if somebody has symptoms such as loss of consciousness or a seizure, this is when you as a friend need to call somebody and make sure somebody in the venue knows, call 999 and make sure that you're putting them in a recovery position and someone stays with them and monitors them throughout.
So important.
Really good
Great advice,
there.
Emeka. Thank you.
So much, Emeka. And as you touched on earlier, Tia, since this whole thing happened, you've actually changed the way you go out using kind of tools like this to help keep yourself safe.
Yeah, now I work with Dawn. I take stop tops everywhere, and I'm at university at the moment. I have my own society, and we take them out with us. We also, Ex-Uni helps us. They want us to provide them. They encourage us to use them. So after I finish, we'll be on to teaching, and hopefully me and Dawn are going to work together after to do some more stop tops and make sure there's more education around it.
Good for
That's
you.
fantastic. Really great work. Thank you so much to everybody for joining us this morning. Now, as we